The following Facilities Management Insight was filmed at the NFMT Conference and Expo.
There are 8 ways to get this tax incentive, okay? The first way is called the whole building. It gives you $1.80 per square foot. Very difficult to hit the targets. In order to hit the targets, you have to show that your building performs on a cost basis 50% more energy efficiently than a building built to a standard of a 2001 standard. So your building has to be 50% more energy efficient than a building built to a 2001 standard. Very difficult to hit. There's not a lot of buildings out there that can do that, okay? Exactly, ASHRAE 90.1, 2001. You have to show that your building performs 50% better than ASHRAE 90.1, 2001. Luckily, they split that up into 3 subparts. So they took the 50%, divided by 3, that's 16 2/3, 16 2/3, 16 2/3. So alternative 1 here, each one of these can qualify on its own if it can show that its efficiency can create a 16 2/3 cost improvement in overall building energy usage, okay? This is not just lighting is 16 2/3% more energy efficient than the lighting in 2001. It's showing that the lighting causes a 16 2/3 cost improvement over overall building energy use, meaning all energy used in the building. Still not so easy, and it wasn't so easy that Building Envelope actually cried foul. They said their equipment cannot create a 16 2/3 cost improvement. So in 2008, they got special compensation. They got a way to qualify called Alternative 2, where they're qualifying on a 10% improvement level. But to keep the parity with 50%, lighting and HVAC is disadvantaged. So 20 plus 20 plus 10 is still the 50%. Now, if you're doing a combination, you can actually add these numbers together. So let's say you were going to do a lighting and building envelope combination. You would not use alternative 1 because that adds up to 33 1/3%. You'd instead use alternative 2 that adds up to 30%. Okay? But you would never do a lighting HVAC using alternative 2 because that adds up to 40%, where alternative 1 adds up to 33 1/3% improvement. Okay? So you can do combinations as well. All 7 of these ways to get tax savings require energy simulation modeling. Does anybody use energy simulation modeling? So we're talking about programs like Train Trace, Carrier HAP, DOE 2.1, 2.2, eQuest. Those softwares is where you show that you're having this much cost improvement. Those percentages are from a software. It's your building versus a reference building in the software. This is not about measuring and verifying, okay? This is about simulated percent improvements, okay? It's done in software, okay? All 7 of these ways, we've done thousands of projects. In those thousands of projects, those 7 ways represent about 5, maybe 10% of our work. The vast majority of our work comes out of this 8th way to get tax savings. Unfortunately, they use this word right here, interim. There's nothing interim about these lighting rules. It's going to be there for the whole length of the legislation, all the way out to 2013. So there's no reason that they should have called it interim, but they called it interim. But it's the interim lighting rules. It does not require any software at all. It can be done on a spreadsheet. It can be done on the back of a napkin. There's no software required to get the lighting. It's simply watts per square foot. What's the wattage of each fixture in a space? Add them up, divided by the square footage of the space. That's the watts per square foot. How does that compare to a standard? You beat the standard, you get tax savings. Okay? We're going to talk about that because that represents about 90% of our work. We'll talk about that more on the next slide.